Hello, hello. Welcome to the Susie B's channel. How's everybody doing on this happy weekend? Where did my background go? There it is. Welcome in, welcome in. How's everybody doing? It's 12:41 p.m. here in Phoenix, Arizona, and it is 104 degrees. My gosh, I got up, well, a little earlier than normal, than usual, and I went outside. I just spread a bunch of amend out in the back lawn, the backyard, the lawn, and all the spots that are balding. I added some soil there. Did that yesterday. It was like 106 yesterday, and it was later in the evening, so it was cooling down already, but still in the hundreds. But I laid out some soil and then sprinkled out some clover seed and the white and the red, white and red. So there'll be a mixture out there. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that and see how it's already starting to sprout in the front yard. There's a small patch that we added some more soil to, an area of a really little small area of grass that we had growing. I'm planting clover there also, and it's already sprouted. So I'm excited, and I can't wait to see it. Hopefully by fall. Can't wait to see it. Hey, Grizzly Warrior, how you doing? Welcome in. Hello, Rashid. You're watching John P. Oh, that's cool. Is John P. Brother live? I didn't even look to see. I've been doing a lot of studying on the Aztec culture, so I've been really bound up with all that, and actually been doing that for a couple of days. Just kind of curious to see the culture, and I'm just trying to not figure out, but I'm just trying to learn the history of the Aztecs, and it goes so deep with the culture and the people. And then I always thought that the Aztecs were just they were strictly in Mexico, right, or exclusively to Mexico, but it turns out that they were up through California and Arizona, and there's a whole language. It's a whole language with the Aztecs, and it involves several dozens of other tribes that are possibly not ancestors. Well, that they come from the Aztecs, right? There's dozens of other tribes that come from the Aztecs. So it's just that's what I've been doing for the past couple of days, doing a lot of research. Oh, he said he'd be here later. Oh, okay, that's fine. The beauty of the lives is that they're being recorded, so you can always come back later and watch them. I'll go back later when I get a chance and go watch his live, but it doesn't really matter. Everybody goes live when their viewers are online, so this is why a lot of us are usually live around the same time, is because that's the time the viewers are usually on YouTube and watching videos or whatever content. So how you doing, Rashid? How's everything going? How you doing, Grizzly? So that's what I've been doing, and I kind of been just learning about the Aztec culture, and I was watching several documentaries about the Aztecs and their way of living. And I learned that they were very clean people. So they washed frequently and they bathed. They were very organized and they were very clean. And I kind of appreciated that. There was a little piece in the documentary that showed kind of like a little tent that they had in their market. and where the restrooms were the designated restrooms, and it was kind of like a tent, and they had like a clay pot, and I guess that was the actual toilet. And once it got I don't know if it got to a certain level, but there would be a worker there in the market that would go in and empty out the waste and haul it away. And they actually put grasses in there, and they reused their waste. They used everything. So they used all their waste in their gardening system, and they did not waste anything. So they used everything. So that's kind of really interesting how they did the canals, and they did their floating gardens on the water, because they kind of lived in like a swamp. So Keith, the German soldier, welcome in. Oh, did you change your name again, Gravedigger? Beautiful Gravedigger. Uh, all right. That's nice. You doing good, Grizzly? That's good. So yeah, I've been kind of learning a little bit about that. That they actually they were very clean. They reused all their waste. They used that as into their fertilizer. The processes of breaking down their corn. Their main staple was corn, squash, and beans. And I find that very interesting. And they also ate a lot of fowl, which was they may have had a lot of wild turkey in their region where they were living, and they also had swamps, right? So they did partake in adding frog to their culinary dishes, and also worms like grub worms and crickets, some other big bugs. But if you go down to if you look up Mexico City and you look at the market, you'll see the same type of things in their markets there. You'll see chocolate, you'll see like deep fried crickets and things like that. I've seen these in videos actually. It's kind of interesting. Snake, just whatever they had in the area. And it wasn't until like the Spaniards came over that they actually brought meats, so beef and pork, and it was kind of interesting. Every step you take, I'll be watching you. Are you singing, Rashad? Grizzly says hello, Keith. Beautiful Keith. Rashad says howdy, Keith. Hello, everybody. Hey, Lex, how you doing? So yeah, I've been doing that, studying the Aztecs, because this isn't something that they teach in high school. If they do cover it, it's very briefly. And it's mainly Columbus. Learn about Columbus. Learn about Cortez. Learn about the Spanish conquistador. But they really barely brush on the Aztecs or a lot of the American Indians, right? So you have to kind of. I'm actually real interested in the culture of the Aztecs, and so these little things I'm learning. Also in Mexico City. I just found out that in 2023 there was a huge earthquake in Mexico City that toppled over one of the buildings, and below that building was an actual temple. And after excavating, the archaeologists found that these temples were built on top of other older temples. So you'll see the original temple that was built on that land at the time. And then two others built on top of that, and they just kind of like covered it with the new structure, and then another one was covered over that new structure. And I thought that was really interesting. They actually unburied. Well, actually, it was this huge, big stone plate kind of thing, huge, and it was one of the gods, which was a dismembered god in the story. That was one of the sisters that attempted to take out the mother, and the brothers had dismembered the sister. And it's a huge stone. I don't know what it's called, like a big stone plate, but circular, where it shows her body dismembered. And this thing is huge. It was like really big, almost as big as the Aztec calendar that you've seen in the museums. It's almost as big as that. All pure stone, and I don't know if it was chiseled, but it almost looks like it was cast in there, poured, and in a mold because it looks so perfect. But they found that in there, and they found a lot of artifacts. They found a bunch of bones. Till up until recently, they didn't quite believe that the Aztecs were uh, doing the sacrificial ceremonies until they actually found the area where so after the Aztecs did their sacrificing to the gods because they believed the sun wouldn't come up the next day unless they were fed. It was fed, right? I don't know. Some people say it wasn't all the time with the sacrifices, and then others said that the warriors believed that if they didn't offer a blood sacrifice to the god, then the sun wouldn't come up the next day. So they needed to feed the sun so it would come back. So the translation is a little lost in right there as far as that explanation goes. But Lex says hi, everybody. Grizzly says hello, Lex. And Keith said, I sure did. You changed your name. Lex says hi, Grizzly. So they indeed, when the Aztecs did their sacrifice, they would, I believe they decapitated the body, and then they used that skull and they put it on a stick, like hung it on a stick, and then they showed kind of like a sample of what the city would have looked like and where all the skulls would have been. And it covers the whole front of the steps, and it was like literally layers. It was levels, like a skull was low, then stacked. They were all stacked, and they were all around the front of the pyramid. And they found that they actually found all those skulls embedded into the earth, stacked on top of each other. So that was a new discovery. I don't think it was like as recent as like this year. I believe it was a few years prior that they found it. Plus, they found a bunch of artifacts. They found a lot of turquoise, jade, and shells. They found a few burials that believed they were probably someone of high status. So that was kind of cool to learn that. And you went back to an older pic of me because I like it more. Oh, okay. That's cool. That's good. Good picture. Nice to see you, Keith. Beautiful Keith. Some of the Native Americans on the East Coast called corned beans and squash the Three Sisters, right? And that's I've heard of that. When you plant your corn, you plant squash, and you plant beans because they all help each other grow. So that's the whole purpose for the Three Sisters. They actually accentuate each other and help each other grow. Like the squash shades the lower part, which protects the beans while they grow. So it's kind of, they all help out. They help each other out in the growth process. But yeah, I've heard of the Three Sisters. What group did you study? The Aztecs, Grizzly. Be sure to hit the like button, everyone, if you haven't. Thank you, Rashid. Grizzly Warrior connected, and I shared out your channel on my community page. Awesome, Key. Thanks. That's awesome. Yeah, so this was back in 2023 that earthquake happened in Mexico City. And Mexico City happens to be right exactly the heart of the Aztec temple. And they had built over it. So when this earthquake happened, it toppled over the building that was built over the temple, and it became exposed. And then they're like, oh, wow. So the archaeologists and the local archaeologists, I'm sure a lot of others from other countries came over to help with the excavation. But they found artifacts. They found tons of artifacts. One guy said that they didn't find a whole lot of gold. They found a lot of small pieces of gold, but they said the Incas were the ones that had the gold, the big gold. So I think I'm going to actually study the Incas next. But I'm trying to figure out where the golden sun disk is at. Uh, who created that? Because I don't know. I'm still digging, but I'm leading up to figuring out which one was it, what peoples were that created the gold sun disk. So I've just been, that's what I've been doing lately is just studying these cultures and trying to grasp the history of why these people were doing these sacrifices and who is this God, right? Who is this God and why was he making the people do this? And I even looked up, did they ever find this so-called God, the body of this God? Because in other research that I've been doing, I'm trying to like piece these God things together, and I'm trying to figure out if it was something, a thing, it or whatever it was, deceiving a whole bunch of people into doing you know uh, satiating its hunger for blood and use and going under the guise as a god or whatever throughout history to trick people into doing, to feeding it and worshiping it. So I started with the Aztecs because everybody knows what the Aztecs did. Look at the movie Apocalypto. So Grizzly says, thanks, Keith. Really appreciate that. I'll connect back to you. Keith that he likes to eat on camera, and so you'll see him enjoy a bunch of wonderful, delicious meals. That's what he does, and he's supposed to be gaming soon, right, Keith? You're gonna start that up pretty soon. I haven't played my game. I was thinking about it, but I'll probably do that later. Grizzly Warrior, you're welcome, and thank you very much. I appreciate it. So you'll find me saying beautiful Keith because his name used to be Gravedigger, and I call him beautiful Gravedigger because he has a beautiful personality, and he's always showing everybody so much love, and so nobody calls him the same, treats him the same that he treats other people. So I call him beautiful just to give him the same respect because he's a beautiful soul. Anyways, back to the Aztecs. I've just in awe, and then all of a sudden I was watching this video, and they were talking about the language, and I'm like, shoot, what language did they speak? And what I found was something called they called it Uto Aztecan. So that was the actual type of language that was spoken as far as the Aztec people go, right? But when you look up Uto Aztecan, Uto means out of Utah, but there's like dozens of tribes that use the Aztec language. It goes as far back to the Yaqui and even the Hopi, and I'm like, what the heck? That's crazy. Because also, I'm kind of interested in because the Aztecs are not acknowledged here in the States. A lot of the other American Indians are acknowledged. I mean, not all of them. There's probably a lot that are not acknowledged, but I'm trying to figure out why. Because in the history, it shows that they migrated all the way up California, all the way up Arizona, through Texas. I mean, they followed the waterways, and there's gorgeous waterways all the way up through all those states. Every state has gorgeous waterways, creeks, rivers, you name it. And why would they just be? Why would they decide to just stick around in a swamp, right? Because it's like so they had like some kind of a vision of an eagle with a snake in its mouth. And they were told through, I don't know who, I still can't grasp the story, but that's where they were supposed to settle. They were told to go to explore the lands until they found an eagle that was perched on a cactus and eating a snake. So I guess they wandered the land in Mexico, and they traveled as far as they could until finally one day they actually found the eagle perched on a cactus with the snake in its mouth. That's why the Mexican flag has this symbol on it. Um, and it happened to be in a swamp. So they 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 made it work. They made the floating gardens there. They kind of what is that word for that when they changed the land? They made the land work for them, and uh um God, I can't think of the name. Roger says, "Hey Roger, how you doing, Rashid?" Oh yeah, I already said hi to you. They claimed the Spaniards and missionaries destroyed a lot of stuff when they cut. Yeah, a lot of their history was burned. But there's something called a codex, and it's by several different men. These were like missionaries. Are they called missionaries? Um, they actually were able to preserve a few, some writings and pictures of the Aztecs, their daily lives, their rituals, their duties. It's called. I actually purchased this book because I want to look further into this codex, and it's called like a. Gosh darn it! I'll have to hold on a second. I believe it was like kind of like I want to say a monk, but not. I'll have to find the right word. Let me just sign in here because I think I was looking it up here on Amazon, and I actually found it cheaper. The book, used book, because it doesn't have to be new for me. But it's called. Let's see if I saved it here. No. Okay, let's go to my email here. But it's called a codex, right? They're called codexes, and this is where a lot of people go and study. They study these codexes, and especially in regards to the Aztecs, there was a little bit of information that was saved from the Aztecs, full pictures and writings, and let's see, where is it at? Where are you? I think I have you saved in. The Codex Borgia. It's a full color restoration of the ancient Mexican manuscript. So that's by Diaz, Giselle, and Rogers, Alan, Bylan, Bruce E. There's several codexes that a lot of these videos are made on YouTube where they get their information from. And I looked into these codexes because I never heard of this. I never heard of these. And they're actual manuscripts that were copied and put into a form of a book where you could actually study it yourself and look at the symbols and the pictures and the history. Oh, you're still sick, Keith? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, darn. I hope you get better soon. So does Grizzly. Says, hope you're feeling better soon. Thanks from Keith. So is that your name, Keith? Must be, right? Or are you just using a random name? You gonna run to the dollar store for a minute? I'll be back if you're still. I'll still be here, Rashid. What are you gonna get? You're gonna get some mac and cheese. You get some chippies, ice cream. You're gonna go get some Coors, huh? This dollar stores, they sell beer now. That's crazy. But yeah, so it's called the Codex Borgia, and there's another one. This Codex it's a different name, but this one I'm interested in getting my hands on this. This should be here in a couple days. But I really want to kind of see what the heck these. I want to learn and understand the whole story with the brothers, the mother. Where's the father? So far, I haven't read anything about the father. And then in other research that I've done, a long time ago, as far as the gods go, the female was able to give birth without a father. So this is something that I've read, and there's really not a whole lot of validity to it. It's kind of just like wishing or hoping for something. It's not something that you can see, but it's there, and it's apparently it's was written somewhere. But I'm trying to figure out what's going on with these gods and these kids, right? The kids, so the boys, one was responsible for the land and sea, apparently. One was responsible for the air, the light. Then there was a war god. So it was basically all the elements that we had. And why did the daughter try to take out the mother is what I want to know. What was the purpose? Like, I want to see if it goes deeper, if the explanation is deeper, and I want to understand the whole story with the Aztec culture and the religion and the worshiping and the gods and all that. Hi Sonia, how you doing, sis? Good to see you. So this is John P's wife. If anybody doesn't know, that's John P, my brother. That's his wife. So yeah, this is why I'm kind of studying this, because I want to kind of understand it. I want to understand the culture, of course, because that's what my father says we are. We're Aztec, and I'm trying to understand a little more about what was going on. And of course, I mean, I don't know if any of you ever curious about your ancestors, your culture, but I never had time to do it in the past, and I have the time now, so why not, right? And then I think after all of that happens, I'll be able to move on to something else. Like I said, I'd like to learn more about the Incas too. The Mayans and the Aztecs were very similar. They did the same type of traditions, and they worship the same gods, right? Or they didn't worship. I don't know if they worshiped the same gods, but they were both doing the sacrificial offerings to the gods. So they were very similar, but they were like neighbors. They weren't very close. I believe they were within like 1,000 miles apart from each other, from what I understand. So. Yeah, it's called the Codex Borgia. And usually it was put together by, shoot, doesn't let me click on it. I don't, it's not a monk, but some like a priest of the church, kind of a traveling one that documented. I don't know what those people are called. So that's what I've been learning so far, and it's very interesting. The Aztecs, it said they were very clean people. They had a great waste system. They dug their canals, and actually those canals are still in Mexico City underneath. There's like 3 subways underneath, and there's a subway this is the only train that I've ever known to have wheels. This one doesn't use the metal wheels. It uses rubber wheels. They're trains. So I thought that was interesting. That's present in the present moment. But there's three subways underground. One of them is an actual tour of the Mexico subway. And then there's one topside. And they all have rubber wheels, and so I thought that was really interesting. But they're still connected to the track, which is it was really hard to see in the video, the detail, but it was kind of interesting how they actually use rubber wheels on their trains. So I never knew that. Um, Grizzly says, "Hello, Sonia." Keith says, Susie, you're totally right. A lot of people don't give me the same respect that I give them, sadly, but it's okay. I focus on my friends that give me the same respect. Well, good. Just kind of be aware, and just don't hang out with those people. Don't show them any more attention. Whatever. I don't. That's what I would do, because you definitely want to hang around people who are into you, into what you do. And if not, then just move on. Just don't make a big old scene about it. Just it's as simple as unsubscribing, and even you know, if they pop up on your feed, just there's these three little buttons that say "Don't recommend the channel." It's as simple as that, and you won't see their stuff anymore. So that's a good way to like walk away with dignity and without causing drama. Just walk away. It's easy as that. So yeah, I'm excited to see this Codex Borgia. I didn't even know these things existed. I was like, okay, so this guy, I was watching a food channel, and this is how I found out about the Aztecs, because he was explaining tamales. Like tamales in the Aztec culture, they were actually existed, and it was like the regular people couldn't really eat tamales. It was like the higher ranking people. So and nowadays, like we have like VIP people, the millionaires, the billionaires. It's like they were only allowed to eat tamales, and like us, lower income, whatever. We weren't good enough to eat the tamales, right? So I was like, what the heck? And if you're caught stealing a tamale, there was some really bad punishment for that. Oh my gosh. Really bad. I mean, really bad. The Aztecs didn't mess around. They had a strict uh, punishment. They had a strict rule. So um, they had a lot of punishments for stealing, taking tamales. They actually paid their money system. One of the methods of trading for goods was cocoa beans, because cocoa was their big thing. Chocolate, right? Hot chocolate. And they could actually use cocoa beans as currency, and some people would actually carve some wood and smooth it out and make it look like a cocoa bean. And if they were caught, oh my God, it was really bad. But they would be like flogged, really bad. I mean, they were really brutal. And the kids were also if they were being bad, they were brutally taught, but according to the law, they were taught in a brutal manner to not do that again. So it wasn't just a little paddle on the rear end. This was like welts, and probably blood would be drawn. So it was very brutal. Binti, Susie bees are the best bees. Binti is the best tea. So yeah, so this is what I've been doing for a couple of days, just kind of researching the Aztec culture and learning about their ways, and uh, the reason why they ended up where they ended up, which is in Mexico City, is because I'm still trying to figure out who gave them the instruction to travel across the land until they find the eagle perched on a cactus with the snake in its mouth, devouring a snake. That's not clear yet, and I can't wait to, maybe it's in the codex. Maybe the whole story is in there. So I don't know if they used like a psychic, or if they had like someone that was telling them, these things. So far I haven't seen anything like that, and it was just they had their rituals. They pleased their gods with sacrificing, and I just want to know who told them to go look. I mean, because just think about it. Someone said, "Oh, just travel out into the desert until you see a prairie dog perched over a petal cactus, eating a cactus pear." You know, that could be anywhere in the desert, right? Like that could be totally anywhere in the desert. Like there's probably 100,000 prairie dogs out in the desert eating a freaking cactus pear. And like, did this happen? Did they end up in the right place, or were they led there? Because if this was a trickster god, he could totally have led them to this land and then created the vision of the eagle with the snake, and they would have thought, oh, that must be it, you know. But it could have been like in thousands of other places too, right? The eagle with the snake in its mouth on a cactus. It's the whole freaking Arizona desert, right? Which grab Susie. Hi, Sonia. Um, so I'm like, oh, were they, you know, were they naive to think that, and I want to know if like the actual God, so there was a ruler, and people were even terrified to stare at this guy. But you know, in the video, it showed a regular looking man, but I don't know. There's no detail. Like the people were frightened to even look at him. Um, so who is this guy? Did he do any kind of tricks, magic parlor tricks? How did he prove himself to be the ruler, right? And how is he getting his instruction as far as the sacrificial ceremonies go? Who was giving him where was he getting his information from? That's the information I'm digging for. Because I honestly think the Aztecs were tricked. I think they were praying to a trickster god that's been probably tricking a lot of people throughout history for a long, 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 long time. So I just think the Aztecs were part of one of the people that were misled by a trickster god. That's just what I want to call it, trickster god, because there's no way human beings were born to do these kinds of things. They were even doing cannibalism after a few of the ceremonies, the ritualistic sacrificial ceremonies, and it was only the higher up people that were allowed to enjoy the flesh of this sacrifice, which is disgusting. But not everybody partook in the cannibalism. It was only, and they had priests too. They had priests and priestesses. So they were practicing some type of sorcery, I believe. Some kind of, well, it was medicine, and it was you know, I'm still digging further into that, because they actually were not allowed to wed, but there was one specific couple that were allowed to wed, and they were actually they're smarter ones. So they would pick out the smarter Aztecs, and they would advance them into further schooling into priesthood and priestess. They had to do a lot of bloodletting in their position, so they weren't really that lucky, but they had to do a lot of rituals. So it's kind of weird, really, really weird. Hi, Norma, how you doing? They worship the plumed serpent, or no? Yeah, there was several. They worshiped the ones during the seasons. So there was a wind one, like a sky god. There was the earth and water god, the war god, and then the sun god, of course. And I've heard some really interesting things about the sun god, because the one guy that Nathaniel Gillis said that the sun is actual. You know, he had his beliefs about the sun, but they worship the sun, right? And they said that the sun is the one that they did the sacrifice for. And if you hear other people talk about the way the sun works, they said it's an actual something in the sun, or the sun's a portal. It's kind of goes way out there. But if you just listen to it and kind of use it as absorb it as like either metaphors or um, you know, you just kind of have to understand it in a way that's not literal. But apparently, it was the sun god that was making them do the sacrifice. Otherwise, it wouldn't come back up the next day, right? Or it wouldn't they wouldn't have sun in a cycle. So it's kind of interesting. And they were pretty big, the Aztecs. They did was they would go and kind of conquer other small villages, but they didn't conquer to kill everybody. They conquered to take prisoners, because that was their sacrifice. That was their offering to their gods. So, and they actually dressed up in costumes to look more scary. Some of them wore like skull and bones kind of thing, and some of them dressed up as jaguars, other things, other animals to appear more scary, and their weapons were crazy sharp and like shoot one swoop. So they had a big paddle, right, a wooden paddle, and they mounted sharpened obsidian into these long. They look like flat bats, like a bat that's pounded flat, and then on the edges, obsidian was inserted, and somehow, I don't know how they used adhesive, or I don't know how they got it to stick in there, but they sharpened the obsidian, and one swing at those, it was described as they saw a horse beheaded with one of those. So those things were powerful, quite strong, and the obsidian they said could be sharpened as sharper, if not sharper than a blade. So that's some pretty scary weaponry that they had. See more? How you doing, Norman? Raymond? So yeah, I've just been I was watching videos back to back yesterday, just learning about their way, and they still don't have a whole lot of answers to some things that I'm curious about. Like, how did this all start? It's kind of oh, they also described that they made, so they believe that in Mexico City, where the pyramids are at, that's where creation started, and there's a lot of other cultures that I've heard a few other cultures say that they believe that's where their creation started. But anyways, they tried to make so the gods tried to make people, and they first used what was it? Oh, the animals to worship. They wanted worship. They needed worship, right? So they created the animals, and they realized the animals didn't talk. So they released the animals all out into nature. That was the whole explanation for the animals. And so then they tried creating a human being with mud, but the mud didn't work. It was lifeless. And then I believe that the next one was wood. They tried to make a human being with wood, and I think the wood didn't work. Something about the wood, it didn't have quite the intelligence that they expected it to have. So those people that they made out of wood, they got rid of them with the flood, they said. So I thought that was quite interesting, how the flood, to get rid of these. They also talked about some giants too, some vegetarian giants. I'm like, what is going on here? So it's just really crazy, the story. Really, really crazy. It's really interesting though. Trying to remember what the final one was. I don't know if it was clay. Clay would have been the same as mud. I'd have to go back and look, but I remember there was clay and there was wood, and then I remember the giants, and they called them the vegetarian giants. But the wood people, that's kind of weird. It's really interesting, the story, but I'm hoping more of it in detail. Because if I could have it in front of me and read it, I could absorb it better. Especially if it's something that I'm excited to learn about. I can absorb things a lot quicker. So, back to Mexico City, that earthquake in 2023, it did topple over a building, like I said, and some of the temple was exposed, and then they found that big disc. So a lot of the stories, especially with the sacrifice, are now believable because of all the proof of the skulls all there lined up on top of each other. And they found actually not they weren't all Aztec people. They were actually foreigners from other places, probably captured by the Aztecs that maybe were traveling and they were captured because they found a lot of different ethnicities in the DNA samples that they took from the skulls. So and there was lots of them. Oh my gosh, they did a scale, and there was many, 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 many. So I'm trying to dig and see where the sun just came in. I don't know if it was even the Aztec culture. Maybe it was the Incas, because they said the Incas were the ones that had the abundance of gold. And I'm trying to figure out. I'll eventually get there, but it's very interesting. So if you dig into your culture, and like mine is it's very interesting. There's a lot going on there, and as far as the gods go, a lot of cultures have their gods way back then. If you dig into it, the Celts, there was the Norse gods. There's like so many different sets of gods, which are interesting. It's interesting to learn about why they worshipped. What did they do for these gods? What did these gods demand? And I'm starting to. I just want to understand what was going on. That way, because if I see a little pattern going on, but I can't. I can't put it all together yet, quite yet. But there's a pattern with the worship and the sacrifice. So I think it's all leading back to one specific thing, whatever it is. Wearing different masks each period of the different gods. That's just interesting. I think that's pretty much it until I get that codex and start studying that. I was studying symbolism as far as petroglyphs in the area, which is called Rock Art Symbols and of the Southwest. And in this book here, it's called a field guide, and it shows you like different symbols of petroglyphs that are found in the area, and not all of them have been deciphered. But I started studying that, and then I just jumped over to the Aztec culture because for some reason I'm curious about why the people believe that sacrificing human beings was going to make the sun go round. And obviously that was they were deceived, right? Because the sun goes round no matter what we do. Nowadays, like nobody's taking anybody out, and bloodletting and all that anymore, because that was like in that era, and the people believed it. So what's making our sun go around now? Science. I ain't partaking in that. Are you guys? I'm not. But anyways, I think it's just I'm trying to understand how these people were so organized, so clean, and they they built well, that they were successful at farming, which brought in so many people for trade, and they figured all this stuff out. So, you know, they were given all this knowledge in return for, I think, this the sacrifice. That was the whole exchange to become a thriving, successful city. But the the only bad thing about that is that they had to do the sacrificial things, and that's too bad. I've actually seen it in other videos, how the people in Mexico are not very impressed with the Aztecs because of what they did, and they're just trying to cover their history. And of course, the Spaniards came in and built churches on top of the temples. So they did that everywhere. They pushed their religion on a lot of people, and in the name of war. So if you didn't convert to the religion, you were either taken out or banished or whatever they did. So yeah, I agree, Ben T. To this day, the same is done. Sacrifice for knowledge, and that's I hear that a lot. So basically, if you go in terms of Hollywood, you got to sell your soul to become famous and rich and popular, and you know all that good stuff. Well, it's not good, but all that vanity, the glamour, the power, the money. You got to give something in return. So it's just real interesting stuff I've been researching. That's what I've been doing. I've been hiding, researching. Not really hiding, just that's what's been keeping me busy. And I'm excited to learn a little bit more and what the symbols mean, because they actually had, you know, their own language, their own petroglyphs, so to speak, their own symbolism, and I think it's just interesting. Especially interesting with what I was talking about earlier, the Aztecan, where the language was used by dozens of other tribes all the way up into the United States. And I was listening to a lot of different dialects of it, and it's pretty interesting, really interesting. And the fact that like the Yaqui and the, what did I say, the Comanche, Yaqui and the Hopi have a certain dialect of the Aztec language. But yet the Aztecs aren't acknowledged here in the States. I think that's quite interesting. Maybe I'm off a little bit. Maybe I don't quite understand that part, but that's why I'm researching, so I could learn more. But that's my thought. They were all over here. They definitely were explorers, because they were exploring to capture people for their rituals. So who knows how far they actually went, and it kind of gives you an idea when you look up the language. If you look up the language, it shows you all over the map, throughout Texas, Arizona, California, up into Utah, where they traveled. I believe where they traveled. I'm not quite sure yet. So yeah, it's just interesting stuff. Let's change this music. And meanwhile, in the news, there's like so much going on in the news involving the president, ICE, you know, the deportation, and actually the whole point of ICE was to go after the bad guys, the drug dealers, bad guys that are coming over here and just wreaking havoc wherever they go, wherever they end up. Not only probably here in the States, they're probably going out other places and doing the same thing. But that was the whole point of ICE going out and gathering those guys up. But it seems it's just like they're just going after every single person that looks like they're out of Mexico. So, there's a lot of backlash with that. A lot of people are pissed off. It's happening here in Phoenix. There's actually like traffic stops. I think there's a lot of profiling going on. You know, they know what they're doing. You know, I stay out of their way, but when you hear people getting pissed off because they're taking out all the taco trucks, this was my main thing I wanted to say. Learn how to make Mexican food because what's going on, the Mexican food is going to slowly but surely start to diminish in these next months. Seriously, because a lot of them are being shut down because the owner is, here illegally, or he's been here for years. Nobody's ever told him anything before. And usually all his workers are all this in the same boat, right? So I'm thinking, this is just my thought. Learn how to make your Spanish rice, learn how to make your enchiladas, because if you want to make some extra money, I think that's the best way to do it within the next months. I think because there's not going to be anybody left. Not that they're all here, illegally or whatever, but that's probably going to be something to learn. Should probably learn these things. Anyways, that's what I've been seeing in the news. A lot of crazy stuff going on. I know that the Epstein thing resurfaced. It's being investigated again, and unfortunately, a lot of the files in regards to that have been redacted after they got released. So it's like, okay, that's interesting. Let's see what else. Let's go to the local news here. There was a woman who kept seeing at night. She's a single mother living with her mother, or her mother lives with her, and she has children. And there's always someone peeping through her windows, and people are like, "Put up freaking curtains," But they're like, I was kind of reading the comments in regards to her post. And I thought that was creepy because she actually got 2 photos. One photo was kind of like one of those photos that looked like, what is that called? Pareidolia, right? So I'll show you. It looks like pareidolia. It looks like just the way the camera pixelates the picture of a dark window, which wasn't really actually dark. It was still kind of light, but you see it kind of a very faint image of a face because your brain wants to see, like, puts that pareidolia, right? Let me see if I can find the post. I can share it. Where is it? Recently we had kind of like some kind of sinkhole, but I don't know if it was a pothole. It's just not clear what the heck it was. In one of our intersections, not too far away. Okay, where's this post? Oh, that's okay. We gotta go. 4 days, okay. Someone's breaking a lady's windows, like, often. It's like, that would be annoying. Where's it at? I just looked into it before I went live. Where is it? More coyote sightings. There's a phone scam alert going around. Oh, there's a really bad car accident. Where's that? Let me just scroll through here. Can't find it. Oh, how would you feel if you were dog sitting and the dog ran away? That would be so bad. Oh my gosh. I would be like, I don't know how any of you would handle that, but I would be mortified. Being in charge of someone's little fur baby and it gets away. Oh my God, how could that happen? Oh, okay, where's that darn post at? Let me change this song real quick. So hopefully everybody's having a great weekend. Hopefully you didn't have to work too hard. Okay, let me see. It should be here because there was a lot of responses to that. So there's a scam going around, stamps for sale, on sale. Someone's warning about somebody's business not to hire this person. A gamer looking for some people to play with online. Okay. Where's that post? I just want to show you those pictures. Somebody found a turtle. Oh my gosh, those guys could get around. When I lived in Kingman, there was a lady who lost her turtle. This thing wasn't a little turtle. This thing was a freaking huge turtle, and they couldn't find it. It was as big as a tire. And this thing was huge. It was a tortoise. It was a huge, big thing. And I'm like, how do you lose something that size? Like the thing could freaking looks like a boulder. And they run around slow. They're like all slow. And like, how do you lose something like that? I think it was found a week later though, if I remember correctly. Okay, I'm still searching for that post. Ooh, a road rage shooter sentenced to life in prison. Good job. Let's see. Where is that? I'll peek in your windows if you pay me. Oh, is this it? Did I find it? Yes. Okay, here it is. Let me blow it up here. Okay, here's the post here. So let me just share this. Where's the screen? So this is this woman's residence, and she's highlighted the area where she believes that there is somebody peeking through her windows, and you tell me, does this look like pareidolia to you? Or I actually kind of see a nose, but the nose is kind of crooked, unless the guy is disfigured his face a little bit. But you can see kind of like a nose there. So somebody in the comments said that's not a human, or that's not how did they describe this? So that's not human or something. That's the first one. The other one you can clearly see. I believe the full facial features. I mean, it's clear as day. I believe the other photo. But I just wanted to show you. Do you think is that pareidolia or is that maybe a ghost? Does that look like a ghost, or does it just look like pareidolia? Honestly, to me, when I saw that, I was like, okay, that's just pareidolia, but it's just so like the other eye is all like weird. Because right here you can see like the eye, like if it was an eye, but there's not a lot of detail in there. It's so pixelated. You can kind of see a mouth and then the two nose holes, but the face looks disfigured a little bit. Like maybe this person had some reconstructive surgery, maybe a horrible accident, something. I don't know if it's an actual person, but for it to be like an actual person, like the face looks so disfigured. Maybe it could be the pixelation. I don't know if this was a screen capture of a video, because if it's a video, then the pixels move around. Especially if you zoom into it, you'll see the pixels move around. So that could have caused the disfiguration of what may be a face. But and then if you go by the size of the face to the actual windowsill, I think the face would be a lot bigger because the windowsill is there's a close up, right? I would think that the head would be way bigger. So that's the first picture, and then this is the other one. This one you can see better. This one, I don't know if it's a side profile. I don't know. I swore it was a lot clearer than this. But this is what she's seen in her windows, and I think she does have curtains. She has blinds up. I don't know. It's really hard to see. Can you guys see anything? Clear as mud? So yeah, she says that her kids. It's always at night. There's always someone peeping in her windows, and she said the neighbors have seen someone peeping in her windows, but she doesn't know what to do. So over here, because it's a busy, very big city, it's very well populated. If you call the police here, and if it's not like if someone isn't wielding a gun or shooting or anything, they usually don't come right away. Or they don't come at all. It has to be like someone entering your house or someone shooting, or if you don't describe the person that you're calling about as having a weapon, they probably won't come out as fast. From my experience, from reporting suspicious activity in the alleyway, people using drugs back there, trashing it and things, they usually don't come unless you mention a gun. When you say that they're packing a weapon, they'll come out quickly. So I don't know what's going on with this poor lady. She says, I keep having people looking through my windows at night, so please be aware and safe. Always watch your surroundings. And then if you pull up the comments here, she says, someone says, what am I missing? That's not a person. She said her neighbor lives across the street from her, also caught them around her house, but the time they get spotted, they run off. Someone says, cover your windows, curtains, problem solved. So she's not getting any help from, apparently not getting any help with people peeping toms. I mean, that's a typical, that's a classical peeping tom, right? She hears them on her roof, so like I don't know what's going on around her place. Somebody mentions rubbing calamine lotion on the window. It dries solid. And it's like, you know how ugly that's gonna look? You're better off just putting up foil over the window. Washes off easily. Can you imagine the smell of that too? But they are suggesting Walmart carries window shades, thick paper that you can just pin up on the glass. Mm. Someone told her to get a door lock latch. Someone pulls up the Arizona trespassing laws here. Someone else doesn't see anything in the images. They say they don't see any person. It actually looks like circled. She circled the wall in both pictures. So that's why I'm saying the photo looked kind of like pareidolia to me. Someone says, please get a gun. I think there was only 2 photos of that. So there's that one in the corner. And honestly, that doesn't look like, I mean, you could kind of see the image, but that doesn't look like a solid human to me. If I was to see that, I would be like, what the heck? I mean, you could clearly see a nose, mouth, eyes, and a forehead and everything. Almost even hair. The chin, you know, but the face, like I said, looks disfigured. Looks like they're actually kind of enjoying their peep. Because their face doesn't look like they're in a bad mood. It kind of looks like they're really relaxed looking through the window. But the nose, the way that it's pixelated. And the eye right there, looks like the person has a black eye, or I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if that's pareidolia. She likes the attention. Oh, I don't think so. She has kids. She's a single mother, and her mother lives with her. I don't think she's trying to get attention, but you never know. But I mean, with all the kids, I mean, you would think that her kids give her enough attention, right? I mean, people who need attention, they're usually loners, aren't they? Aren't they usually like loners? I don't know, a house full of people, how she wouldn't be getting any attention. But yeah, there's 33 comments on there. So the other picture, when I looked at it, I could clearly see, since it's zoomed in so much, let me zoom in again. This actually looks like a man to me with a really light mustache. This looks like, so this is a side profile, his eye here, his chin, you know, older man, probably. I don't know if he's wearing a hat or what, but this looks like a side profile. This looks more solid to me, like a side profile of someone. But if they're looking in her windows, why would they be looking straight parallel to her window? Like, wouldn't they be looking in, right? If she got a picture? So I don't know. That's kind of weird. I don't know. I don't know if that's pareidolia, because you can kind of see the tree in the background, but the edge of the face blocks the background, so you can't see quite through it. It looks kind of solid. Maybe they're on drugs and they're kind of out of it, but they're like looking at her window, and he's happened to be looking sideways. If that's the case. Because you can see like the silhouette of the nature in the background, the sky a little bit. But that does definitely look like a nose, the cheek here. Like they have their eyes closed or they're looking down. I don't know. It's really hard to tell. It's really hard to tell. So someone suggested planting some cactus outside the window. I would definitely plant bougainvillea, that beautiful flower. It's like paper thin. They come in fuchsias and pinks, and I don't know if they come in white, but they're like roses. They're very thorny with big, huge thorns, and you plant those outside the window. You're not going to get someone peeping around in that area because they're going to get shredded. So that's another good idea to do. If anybody is watching and they're worried about their kids, you know, they got teenage daughters, plant roses outside their window or cactus, wherever you're at, go find the sharpest plant and plant it there. It'll also deter them from sneaking out of the house too. Just advice from experience watching my siblings sneak out. We had flowers outside our windows, but we had an alarm system too. So, and we eventually my parents put bars, kind of like bars outside the windows after they realized what was going on. Only on some of them though. So yeah, she's asking for help. So she says the neighbor also is a single father with teenage daughter, just them two. But by the time they get spotted, they run off. They start seeing flashing lights, if like they were communicating in some sort of way to distract the cameras. I see the same cars driving by. Sometimes they sit in the middle of the road for about a minute and throw the high beams on and take off. Minutes later, you'll see it go by again. Something going on. I can feel it in my spirit. That's just really interesting. That's kind of scary. That's weird. You know, and who knows with these people on drugs, what's going on in their mentality, and their reality at the time. It could be a whole different type of reality to them, what they think they're doing and what it looks like to a person not on drugs. So, feel sorry for this gal. But yeah, that was that post I wanted to show you with these pictures, because it's just the neighbors have seen it, she's seen it, but the pictures are kind of just kind of strange. So why didn't she call the law? Paranoia will destroy you. I know, right, Benti? That's like a sickness. Very, very bad. I think she did, but she says by the time she does all that, they're gone. So she's trying to get photo evidence, but this is not very good, honestly. Right here, I could see kind of like a man, an older man, but it's not very clear. Like the picture is horrible. She's got light flashes, flares right here in the photo. It's just really poor quality. Like, come on. So, but you can, when the picture is zoomed out, you can see a man here. Like you can almost see his mustache here. Like maybe he has a slight goatee, and I don't know, some kind of hat. I don't know what the heck. Unless that's the reflection from inside the house that's making it look like he's got a hat on. Like she has something on the wall, maybe shiny. But look at how it's so bad, the quality of this photo. It's really bad. She does have curtains. I see blinds. I don't know, just weird. Oh, she messed with the exposure to try to clarify the actual image of the person, but so yeah, I thought that was interesting. Let's see, stop sharing that and go back to this. So I don't know. I don't know if what you guys think, if that was an actual person or. The second photo looks definitely like the side profile of a man, but the first one, it looks like a lot of pixelation. It looks like, honestly, it looks like a ghost to me, like a ghost in the window, but and just the way what she did to her photo, like she did it in like black and white, kind of weird. Like why'd she mess with I think she was trying to. Oh, weird. Oh God, that's weird. Yeah, you don't want to stare at that photo too long, because I just saw a whole nother face in that. Out of that. Oh, that's weird. So that looks like a younger person now. See how your brain can play tricks on you. Now I see a whole nother face in that with the chin and a regular nose and two eyes. Looks like a younger kid now. That is so weird. Okay, what I was seeing before, that's crazy. A whole nother face popped out at me just now with that first photo. And this, you guys want to see it again? Some type of good security camera with night vision or infrared could get good pictures. See, I don't know if she has something like that. But I was looking at the, okay, I have to show you this. If you guys are interested, I don't know. Maybe it ran off a lot of people. But if you come back later and you're watching this. Okay, so remember I was saying this looks like a nose and two eyes? Okay, while I was looking at this, I saw this whole other face right here. This is the chin line. These are a set of eyes. This nose looks normal, more normal than this nose. And that's the mouth. This looks like a younger kid, like 19. You can see his eyelids, his the eyelids, everything. Can you guys see that? And that's his neck. Now that looks more normal than what I was looking at first. She actually has the top of his forehead highlighted. So that the marker is going over the top of his head from like here, cutting it off. So you can actually see his hair on his forehead, like his hair, like it's like right there, like that's a whole other face that I just seen that popped out at me. Because this thing, what I was seeing here, that I said looked disfigured. That's this whole face popped out at me after. I was like, what the? Just like literally popped out. It looks like a younger kid, like a kid, like maybe 18, 19, maybe 20. Right here, this is his chin, his jaw, his neck, his chin, his mouth, and then whatever's going on in the pixelating is kind of blurring it up, but I see a kid right there. This thing was, I don't know what the heck that is. That's what I was seeing at first, this face. And then when I looked at it again for a few seconds, this whole face popped out at me right here. That's just crazy. I still see this face, but I see this face behind it. Hi, Jump Pete, brother. Yeah, night vision. Yeah, that would be really good. But yeah, there's something definitely going, and it is. These are two different people because the other picture looks like an older man. Looks definitely like an older man side profile. This looks like a kid. And you can't see it at first until, because I was looking at this that I thought it was the face. But this, I could see plain as day, like it's a kid. It's a younger kid. Weird. It could be pareidolia still. I don't know, but it looks like from this face that I said looks disfigured with the black eye, right? Because I was looking at this. It's weird. But then this face appeared from the background and it came straight to the foreground. To me, to my brain, the way I look at it, that this popped out and I could see a clear face out of this. So I don't know. I think this is the actual face that's there. Looks like they have a beard and mustache. So that it looks like a mustache on one side of the lip, but on this side it's not the same. So I think that's part of the pixelation, but there's definitely a regular nose right there. And even the nose looks disfigured, but I think it's the pixelation. But I could clearly see the eyes here. This is the nose, the mouth, the side of the face, the jawline, and the chin. Or it's pareidolia. But honestly, this I wasn't believing that this was the actual face, because although it looks like that because our brain puts together an image that's familiar to us. But while I was looking at this whole face in the background popped in, like came through. Like, holy cow. I didn't see that before. So weird. But yeah, and if I back it out, if you ignore this first face that I was pointing out and look in the background, you can see a clear young kid's face right there, which is a lot bigger than this face. Kind of, if it was someone peeking in the window, I think it would match better, but some of the head is cut off because of the highlighted circle. So his head goes further up. So it's definitely a bigger head in the window, bigger, because this one was just way too small for it to be realistic. This one kind of makes more sense. I don't know. Yeah, it looks like a smaller face next to it, huh? And again, because of the pixelation and the... Oh, my ear's itching, these darn headphones. So yeah, I thought that was just kind of interesting. I was like, is that pareidolia or is that? Because I was honestly seeing this face first, and I was like, that looks like a disfigured face until that other one came through. Oh God, that's a young kid. It looks like a young kid. It probably doesn't even have facial hair yet. Doesn't look like it. I don't know. That's crazy. So yeah, that's the photo. And this one to me looks clear as day, like an older man. But I mean, if you're peeping in windows, you got to be pretty. You have to be. You got to be ready to run, right, at any time, if you even care about not getting caught. But if they're taking off, they have to be in some kind of shape, right? So an older man, it doesn't make sense for an older man to be doing peeping Tom, unless he's drunk and he just doesn't care and he stumbles off. But to be a criminal, you pretty much have to be, especially if you're one of those grab and dash criminals. You have to have your stamina has to be up there. You have to be able to run quite a ways to run away from the person chasing you. So the young kid makes sense to me, but this older man that looks old, maybe it's just also the pixelation, or it is pareidolia. I don't know. But if you're being as ballsy as to be peeping Tom through somebody's window, you need to be prepared to run, right? So that doesn't make sense to me that that's an older man. It actually looks like a side profile of an older man, unless it's just the pixelation and could be pareidolia. I don't know. Frank's Kenna Lounge. Last night there was one in my camera and I realized it was the cap off the bottle of liquor sitting next to me. See, it's deceiving, huh? When you point your camera at a window, you're definitely going to get all the reflections behind you, and that could totally scare you. I've looked out my window and saw the back of my camera on the window, the reflection, and it kind of made it look like a figure right there because of the camera. And at first glance, I kind of was startled, but then I realized it was the reflection. So I mean, your mind can play tricks on you very easily. How you doing, Frank? Thanks for coming in. But yeah, so that could easily be a reflection on her window. But what I was pointing out is that behind the image is the actual landscaping outside, but you can see clearly that the side profile of the face blocks that. But you can almost see through it too. It's so weird. I don't know if it's the reflection inside that's causing that, but it's dark and light. So I don't know if I can point this out to you. Um, Let me point this out again. So here's the side profile face. This looks like a maybe trees in the background outside. But if you look at this, what looks like a face, um, the shadow kind of continues over here, like it's almost see-through. So is this something inside, or is this thing something inside her house that's reflecting off the window? But if the neighbors are seeing someone do it, I mean, um, someone's obviously there. But these photos are just not very. They're very. They're very difficult to understand as far as something believable, because you could almost see the shadow, like if it's landscaping or houses or whatever in the background there, could be reflection, not a reflection, could be the silhouette of the neighborhood, like the house across the street. But it looks like it continues the shadow, the silhouette. So this may not be a face at all. This may be what's reflecting from the inside of the house. So I don't know. Hi, Henry. People could get into deep doo-doo if they look in the wrong window. Some people keep a pew-pew head and reach. Right, Rashad? That's what I'm saying. So to me, if this is pareidolia, it's presenting itself to me as an older man, which it doesn't make sense if a peeping Tom is peeping through your windows, as an older man can't run as fast, right? Or maybe they can, maybe they jog. I mean, it could be an older man that has, you know, a track record that could actually jog, that jogs for exercise. It's possible, but that may not be anything at all. It just may be the reflections and everything just right to make it look like a person there. It could be pareidolia. Like if you look at this could look like a face too. I mean, you could find a ton of faces in this photo. There's kind of one right there, like a, you know, another one. But this is what she's circling. These are peeping Toms that she's seen outside her window. I almost want to take my car out there at night and park out there and watch. You know, you can fix these problems yourself if just go as far as setting up a live wire by that window. It's sticking out far enough to where if they brush their body against it, it'll shock the crap out of them. Taser, mace, a shot of mace out the window when you see a person out there. Shoot a spritz of mace out there. I mean, start doing something. You know, it's not going to really hurt the person, but it's going to teach them a nice little lesson. You don't want to like kill anybody, but you definitely don't want them peeping in your windows anymore. A little shot of mace, I think, would be good. A little live wire, a cattle. You know those cattle wires. I think that would be really good to install outside your window. Landmines. No, we don't want to hurt nobody though, Henry. See, we don't want to promote violence. We want to promote a little bit of protection. Although it looks funny in our head, it's probably frowned upon. I mean, unless they got like, you know, like in the scary movies where they're like in your window with a big old butcher knife and they're tapping on your window, then yeah, pull out the freaking all the artillery. I'd be shooting a big old hole through that window. Something. I mean, that's not a person working on all cylinders upstairs, right? Firing on all cylinders. Some people do it because they're perverts, no matter how old they are. I have an old neighbor. He is like that, sadly. So That's not a smart person though, right? If you're going through all that energy and effort to peep through somebody's windows, but yet you can't run away if you get caught, that's gonna like stop you from being able to do it again. Because these people, they're probably they have something going on in their mind where it's like a disease or something, a sickness, some kind of weird fetish, where they want to be able to do it again because it's maybe to them it's something they want to experience often. And if they get caught, what's the point? So if you can't run, that's my whole point with like the older man. But yet he could be jogging every day. I don't know. They keep up their health to be able to run away. You can't go with a cane to a window and expect to get away with a cane. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe they do. Who knows? I don't know. Uh, Henry says, they look in my window, eye damage is on them, right? Even a laser, as far as like a laser, you're like, I see you. But I think the mace would be good if those windows open, if there's a screen. Cameras would be good. I mean, just a little lesson, teach them a little lesson that you're not going to put up with that, you know? And he's stupid because there's a police station across the street, right? God, I'm telling you, these things, these people, it's like one track mind. They don't think of anything else. That's pretty ballsy with the police station across the way. Just the visuals would do it. Am I talking from experience? No, I've never peeped in someone's windows. Let me think really hard. Nope. I don't think I've ever done that. I don't think I've ever done that. I'm not that curious. If I want to get to know you, I'll just knock on the door. I don't think I would go, be like, you don't know me, and I'm gonna get to know you by peeping through your windows. No, I'll just knock on your door, uh, catch you outside. Yeah, that's not good. Don't do that. Don't be doing that to people. Don't be peeping through their windows. Not nice. So yeah, that was the most interesting as far as what's going on lately. I mean, there was a bunch of stuff last week too, but it's all been buried. And it's kind of all the same stuff. It's missing pets or people keep getting burned when they hire someone to do a job and they pay them all up front. Like, who does that? Pay when the job is done, unless they need a little money for materials. But if they're like they should have all that stuff and then include it in your bill. Unless they're like, I don't know, just don't pay anybody everything up front because I see it often in here where they pay them all. They pay them all right in the front, and then they do like a couple hours work and say they're going to go get some supplies, and they never come back, and then they have their full pay, and then you never see them again. I see quite a bit of those here, and with the neighbors here. Rochelle. Me either. It's sick. I'm afraid to do that, and I have respect for others, right? But some people don't have that, though, Keith. Part of their brain that thinking is missing in their thought process of their brain, where they don't see it as invasion of someone's privacy. That part is out the window. That's not something they're thinking about. They're thinking about themselves and how it makes them feel, the excitement or whatever is going through their mind. They're not thinking about your privacy, your respect for others. That's totally out the window, especially if they're on something too. Let's see. I'm gonna just scroll through the timeline here. Ooh, someone's harvesting figs. Mmm. Oh my gosh, so cute, little kitty, a little albino. Oh, pure white kitty. Does he have red eyes? I know it's hard to tell. Um, so yeah, so I applied some soil to the bald spots in the grass. I don't know if I can show you real quick. Show you what it looks like. Where's the thing here? Let's show the camera. Let me take off the. Hang on a second. Virtual background. So this is outside. So I don't know if you can see it very good, but the darker spots of the lawn in the back, I applied soil, and then I sprinkled clover seeds all throughout that. And there's my kayak over there because it was sitting in the area where I needed to sprinkle the soil. But you can see the grass, and then you see where it's darker. That's where I applied soil, and then I spread some clover seeds. And in the front, I did the same, and they're actually already sprouting. So I'm excited. I'm excited to get those. Those are starting to grow. Real excited. Ooh. They have some natural grass stuff. They're actually will attract bees and pollinators. So if you have a garden, you definitely want bees in your area. And I have bees around here, but the more the better, to help pollinate your veggies, your fruits, whatever you're growing. Because they go from flower to flower, and then they end up pollinating your flowers. They take pollen from one to the other, and it helps develop the fruit in most cases. People do that by hand sometimes, like wow, 'cause they don't have bees. But if you have plants in the yard that attract the bees, then they're gonna do all the work for you. You had a hot neighbor. My luck. If I did that, I will see their naked grandma instead of them. Oh, raspberries and blackberries are ripe here right now. Oh, Rashid. Oh, those are my favorite. We've been buying a lot of raspberries lately because strawberries. I'm trying to stay away from strawberries, just because the blackberries. I like the nutritional value of those. And when I was a kid, we had my mother. When we went to there's a place called Springville, and we used to go there to get in the water and cool off, probably during the summer. But at the time, I didn't know this, but she was grabbing she grabbed some wild blackberries that were growing by the creek there or the river, and she planted them in our backyard. And we had a whole fence. We had a wooden fence back then. That's what we used for fencing. Not unlike Arizona, everybody uses freaking brick. But we had a wooden fence tall. Well, it was tall to me because I was little. But she planted them and planted like a trellis along the fence. But it was like probably metal wire and stakes. And those blackberries and raspberries grew crazy. So I'd be out there as a kid, just having a wonderful time, just eating the blackberries. It's just awesome. You're so lucky to have those. What I did was I got some of the raspberries that we bought from the store. I'm gonna put them in the soil. I don't know if they need to be stratified because some of these kind of berries, you have to stratify them, meaning you have to keep them in the refrigerator for like 2 to 3 weeks to get them ready to sprout. And I'm just gonna bypass all that and just try to throw them in the soil. And if that doesn't work, then I'm just gonna have to get them, buy them, and then stratify them. It takes forever. You have to get them cold, keep them cold for some reason. Ben says your hot neighbor can peep in my window. Oh, be careful what you ask for. Keeps laughing. Oh, you're so lucky. Some of your cousins picked around a gallon already today. Oh my God, are they the big ones? Because the ones that were growing in our backyard, I remember them being different from what we're buying in the store. The ones that we grew in our backyard, they were bigger and the little, how do I explain it? The shape of them, how they got those little rounded edges that make up the raspberry. They stuck out more. They were big. They were like you could rub your finger across it and you could feel all the bumps. But the raspberries that we've been buying at the store, they're all kind of, it's just smooth all the way around, but you can still see the sections of the raspberries, but they're not like, I don't know how to describe bulbous. They don't like stick out. They're definitely bigger, the wild ones, and the blackberries big. I mean, they were big. Well, I was little too, so they were probably they're probably normal size to me now. But they were more shapely. They were more were this I don't know how to explain it, but they were more they popped. They were fatter. We like the black and the red raspberries because they're naturally sweet. And also, if you're diabetic, that's actually a better choice for sweets because they are sweet. I mean, they smell sweet and they taste sweeter, but they have less sugar than a strawberry. Hey, Cleaner Beats, how you doing? Good to see you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, you changed your profile picture. I like it. Looks nice. Good to see you. Yeah, the raspberries. How's your day going? How have you been, Cleaner Beats? Haven't seen you in a while. Um, oh gosh, my neighbor gave me some, and they were already like 4 feet tall, the blackberries, and his wife asked him to pull them out because of the grandkids. That she didn't want the grandkids uh, hurting themselves on the thorns. So his whole front, the whole front side of the property, the residence across the street, probably I want to say a good 12 foot length of blackberry bushes he had. He was ripping them all out one day, and I went out there. I said, "What are you doing? What are you ripping those out?" 'Cause I knew what they were. He goes, "Oh, my wife. She said take them out, the grandkids, and she's worried about their well-being." And I was like, "Can I have some? Can I have a few of those?" He goes, "Yeah." And he gave me like a big bucket, and I planted some here. And they ended up drying out because I left for a summer, and I don't think my hubby either overwatered or underwatered. And they were gone when I got back. I was so sad. So I'm trying to get another set of uh, blackberries to grow because I really want those. They're so healthy and they're so delicious. And they're wonderful. I don't care about the thorns. Doing great. Oh, a long time no talk. It's been great. Busiest year I've ever had yet. Keith, love and respect. Hi, Rashad from Cleaner Beats. Oh, that's good. You're doing good. That's awesome. You're being busy and staying busy and everything's good. That's good to hear. That's awesome. And I know you can grow bananas here. I've seen banana plants, and I know mangoes grow here. So that I would love to have a mango. A banana would be cool. I've never grown a banana before, but I would love to have a mango. Now a banana because I've seen them grow here, and an avocado, and of course a cherry. But I don't know those take forever to grow, and I don't know if I could pull it off. I bought a loquat that we had in California in our backyard, and those things are so freaking delicious. Oh my God. Uh, but again, I left. I left for the summer. That's why I'm here this summer. I'm taking care of all my plants. I'm not leaving till the winter, and I'll make sure they're all watered in the sprinkler system if I leave. Uh, I'm trying to create like a Garden of Eden in the yard. So when we go outside and we're enjoying the weather, we can go to one of the plants and pick something and eat it. That's my passion. That's what I want to do. Place like Lowe's gets stuff in during springtime. Yeah. Um, I've tried many avocados. I've had one avocado sprout and it was doing good, but I planted the basil there and the basil took over and like totally, I think, evicted the avocado in the worst possible way. I think it took it out. It's like this is my house. That basil took over and it went to seed again. The Thai basil. The thing's all full of seeds again. I just took off all the seeds and it produced more. Little bugger. Little bugger. Crazy basil. Keith says, CB, thanks. I really appreciate it. I will connect back to your YouTube channel now. Yeah. So we got 2 oranges already. I would like to have another fruit tree. The neighbors down the street, they got a fig tree. A fig tree. I had a fig tree growing too, and it met its demise when I left for the summer. So I'm really bummed about that. I wanted some figs. So I wanted to start some sprouts too, and I couldn't find them. I think they're in the trailer. I have to go out there and look in the pantry in the fifth wheel because I wanted to grow some alfalfa sprouts in a jar. And I looked all over for them, and I couldn't find them. But I think when I left last summer, I took them with me to grow while I was away. So I think that's where they're at. And if I can't find them, I'm going to have to purchase some more seeds. And they're really very affordable for a big bag of a bunch of seeds. And you don't need a whole lot. You just need, I think it's, 2 tablespoons in a big mason jar? 2 or 3. And you just shake it around and let them kind of stick to the side of the jar, but you keep it moist. And then you just put it upside down, and 3 times a day you add water to it and rinse it because they'll develop a slimy texture if you don't keep rinsing it. And within by the 7th day, you'll have that jar full of sprouts. Just crazy how it grows. Really cool. Right on the countertop. Just put a black bag over it. Keep the sun off of it, and or the light. And they grow like crazy, and you have a full jar. It'll fill up a sandwich bag, a couple of sandwich baggies, or a big one of those bigger plastic baggies, the Ziplocs. It'll fill up half of one of those. So it's just really cool for sandwiches and salads, like microgreens, right? Your house in the middle of the street? Are you singing again, Rashid? He says, you're welcome, Cleaner Beats. If you guys don't know Cleaner Beats, he does his own music on his channel, and he'll go live while he's creating his music, so you can see how he does it. It's kind of cool. It looks really complicated, and you're like, what? It's really neat. Yeah, so just scrolling through here, through the timeline. What else is going on? Um, Coffee does sound good. Is anybody drinking coffee? Oh my God, I was craving something sweet last night and I made just a couple of pancakes. It's that pancake batter where you just add water, but I added cocoa powder to it also. And I made me just really small little pancakes, just small. And I put butter on them, just a little pat of butter. And I drizzled some caramel on top of that. And then I stacked them all kind of, one here, and one there. Then I drizzled some caramel over it, and then a chocolate drizzle, and then I hit it with a little bit of whipped cream. And my hubby goes, "What's that?" I said, take some bites before I eat it, before I start eating it. He goes, "I could eat the whole thing," but he took a couple little bites, and then I ate it. It was really good though. I'm not a big fan of pancakes, but when I get like craving something sweet. It'll be like we didn't have cake or we didn't have very many sweets in the sweets box. So I made some couple pancakes and added cocoa to the batter, which gave it a chocolatey flavor, but it didn't turn them completely dark. So they were still light, but with the chocolate flavor. And the caramel drizzle, that was really good. Just a nice little treat. I had some coffee. Okay, what else is going on here? Attorney General investigating Phoenix apartment complex with broken AC for several days. About time. So it's currently 106 degrees here in Phoenix, Arizona. Let me see. You're broken out of coffee? You don't have instant coffee? You guys don't have instant coffee in the house? Oh, you like music too? Yeah, you would like CB's channel. He shows you how he puts his music together. I actually found his channel because the platform that he uses is similar to when I was trying to figure out how to make my music. And I was asking him questions, and he was so polite, and he's so nice, and he was explaining how to piece the music together. Because I didn't know where else to go. I was just like, God, I need to make music for my channel, and I saw his channel, and he gave me a lot of nice tips and helped me a lot. So that's how I was able to come up with the music that you hear. So all the music that you're hearing on my channel, I used a different platform than what he uses, and all this stuff that you hear on my channel is stuff that I pieced together. It's like a bunch of sounds, and you just put it all in an order, in a way that you like to hear or what you're interested in hearing. And I was able to learn a few little tricks from his pointers that he gave me. So I really appreciate CB. Oh, you ate a little bit of. What did you eat this time? Now you're hungry again? Yeah, I love the smell of coffee too. Can't stand the taste of it. That's why. Well, I used to drink it black. Like when I'd go camping, I would drink my coffee black. And it was just because that's what everybody else did in the morning. They all made a pot of coffee, and I'd have like just a cup of it and just drink it black. Until I realized that I would really rather have caramel in it, Bailey's, whipped cream, chocolate drizzle, ice, whatever. I'd rather eat it as a dessert. Drink my dessert, the coffee flavored dessert. I can drink coffee black too, but it's not fun. You're addicted to coffee? You drink all your coffee? Okay. Excuse me. So I made a really nice meal earlier. I had leftover green beans from my weekend trip, the long ones, the string beans. And I made a marinade yesterday. We when we buy steaks, we cut them into small little sections, and we freeze like two in a bag. That way, uh, when I'm here and my hubby's at work and I want a steak, it's a small little smaller little steaks that I can whip up real quick with rice or veggies. So I made a marinade. I made a homemade chili sauce yesterday with guajillo chiles, and I boiled them and then blended them, and then I incorporated that sauce into a marinade, which included orange juice, vinegar, and what else did I put in there? Orange juice, vinegar, uh, some seasonings. Yeah, put a little bit of salt, and it tasted good. And I let that marinate overnight. So today, I actually it was frozen, so it was marinating frozen in that sauce. And then when I pieced it apart today, parts of it hadn't touched the marinades. And then so what I did was I sliced it real thin, um, and then put I put some of it in the pan and cooked it with the green beans and onions. But the rest of it I left sliced and soaking up the rest of that marinade. So I'll probably cook that again later, cook it again. And I had some brown rice with it. Really good. You had fresh eggs and homemade biscuits. You're thinking about selling some things just to go get some coffee. Go ask your neighbor if they need what would be quick and easy? If they need their windows cleaned, uh for give them the cheapest price possible so that they'll be glad to pay you enough to buy your coffee. And I guarantee you you'll get your coffee today. Uh it's that simple. Like a chore, any kind of chore. If your neighbors, if you have elderly neighbors and they need like something done around the house, just charge them what you need just to get the coffee. It's easy money. You had ramen noodles, and a sandwich. This sounds good. So I told my hubby not to buy bread this next go around when he goes to the store, because I'm gonna actually make some what's it called, yeast bread, and I'm gonna make a little loaves because we have these cute little loaf pans, and I want to make enough to where we could actually make a little sandwich, like a small little submarine, but a small one, like this big, like this big. They're little loaf pans, and I want to make. I just want to do two little loaves and see how they come out. And then I could do the uh, just buns, like dinner rolls, yeast rolls, right? And if you make those a good size, you can cut them in half and use those like you put a burger in there, a burger patty, or you could put sandwich meat and you can use that as a sandwich, right? Sandwich bun. So I'm gonna do that just to see. 'Cause we got like a ton of flour. I need to start making this stuff. I'm gonna start like using up. stuff, cooking it. Because we got plenty of food in the freezer that I could start pulling out, meats, different meats, and we could have sandwiches and just different way of cooking. Because he told me one day, he goes, just order something, have it delivered. I'm like, no, we have food. We can make something. Let's make something. He was too tired. I was like, I'll make something. Whip something up. What did I ended up making like a kind of like a grilled cheese. But I made them in the oven. I made a ham and cheese sandwiches, but I put them in the oven, and I made a butter garlic. I chopped up some garlic and mixed it into soft butter, and then I spread that on the bread. Then I put the cheese and then the meat, the sandwich meat, and then uh, you know put that in the oven. I just did open face, and that was our dinner. And he made a salad with that. He made a salad, so that was actually really good. There's a recycling place close to where you are, Keith. You could pick up some pop cans to sell. Yeah, he would need, depending on what they pay per pound. Um, that's actually good to collect cans throughout the week and then, store them till you get enough. In California, they used to pay pretty good money to recycle like a full trash bag of cans. I think two or three of those. I think it was a good like maybe I want to say at least $20. I think at least $20. I don't. That was a while back ago though. I don't know if it's gone up or if it's gone down or if they're still doing it. Yeah, the recycling centers. I know they're shutting down. I don't get it. Um, so I heard a rumor here about our recycling company. I don't even know if it's all going to recycling, if it's actually going to recycling. But I know in like Kingman, where I used to live, they were picking up recyclables, but they were taking it to the dump still. Like they weren't recycling anything. And I think they ended up shutting down their plant also for the cans. I don't know why they're doing that. I don't know. But that was good money. But you just go, I still see people going through the neighborhood trash cans, getting cans out. There must be a place around here that still does it. But that was years ago. I don't really pay attention anymore because we don't get a lot of traffic anymore. I'm kind of glad. So there's still quite a bit of porch beds that's going on here. Someone spotted a man and a woman on one on a bike and the other one's pulling a cart full of stuff. And they were seen taking a package off a porch. Can't believe how often that happens here. I've never lived anywhere where there was so many porch bandits. Oh, really? You bought a new Blu-ray player with your recycled cans, Rashid? They paid more for cans than they did scrap metals? Oh, yeah, the cans were good money. I remember they even kind of got picky about it, where they wouldn't take cans from out of state. So unless the cans all said CA on them, which was California. Um, if they said like Virginia, because some of them had V, like VA on them. I don't know how that happens, but they wouldn't take those. And sometimes you would go to the recycling center and they wouldn't even care. But there was some people, specific people working there, that would actually pay attention to the stamps on the can, because I think it's on the top side where it says the state that you're in. It'll usually have the abbreviation of the state, and if they were out of state, they wouldn't take them. But I remember the ones that particularly that they would not accept were the ones that said anything else but California, CA. And I remember a few of them had like VA, and people cross state lines, right? Bring their cans over to California because they pay better, and they were putting an end to that. I don't know. It's all the same material, right? I don't know why that was such a big deal. But I'm still scrolling through the neighborhood app here. People looking for work. Uh-oh. There's a fire currently. That was 15 minutes ago. Is that Cave Creek? Okay, it's under control. I've been hearing about a lot of fires lately. Anybody have any in your area? Yeah, that was a few years ago. Shoot, that's when we did recycling, I was still probably a teenager when I was going with my parents to go recycle cans. We would go by, if we saw some on the side of the road, we would go pick those up and gather them. It wasn't very often, but my mom, she worked where she worked. She would take them from the work. So if you know of a place like an industrial place where the employees they drink a lot of pot, those are the best places to go. Especially if you know someone that works there or you work there. Those are the best places because you all day long you get all shifts all around the clock. You get people throwing away cans, and if you work there, you could even designate your own bag and say, please put your cans here, let them know that you recycle, and they would be happy to put their cans there, unless they catch on to the profit that you can make. Then they'll probably try to start doing it too, but most of the time not. But yeah, like in an industrial place or a commercial building, like an office building where there's pop machines, and you know someone or you work there, that's a great way to collect cans with very little effort and just a little time to simply say, designate an area of the break room or whatever, put your bag there. If management allows it, you can have everybody on board and help you out with your cause. There's so many ways to do it. You don't have to always just go and through everybody's garbage and go through all that mess and collect cans. Although people do, but there's so many easier ways to do things. And let's see what's going on here. Here is before and after small block fence return. Please reach out for. Okay, that's someone looking for business. Oh, sourdough starters. That's a lot. That's nice. Aw, someone found a puppy. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. Yeah, just in the news lately, I've just been seeing a lot of ICE and a lot of the president, the Epstein thing. Mm. Oh, for all you guys that partake in Mary Jane, there's something going on with that too. Let's see. Hey CP, how you doing? Welcome in. You remember using the old pop can tabs to make belts, bracelets, necklaces, then recycle the cans? Oh yeah, you can do a lot of crafting with those pull tabs, huh? Shoot, when I lived in Idaho, that reminds me of pull tabs. Some of the cans had those pull tabs, and they actually had when you pull one of those, um, they had prizes underneath them, like a free pop or something, or kind of like a little coupon for off, your next one. Those pull tabs, those are old, but yeah, you can make a lot of things with those. You'll just wait till you have money to get some coffee. It's okay since I still have popsicles and ice cream. That's good. Roshed says, howdy, CP. Hi, Keith. Hi, Roger. From CP. Thumbs up. Thank you, CP. Good to see you. Thanks for popping in. Inventive to buy more. Yeah. Gosh, would you say you made necklaces with those? Bracelets, belts. Yeah, how cool. I wonder if you could make like chimes with those too. Would that sound pretty with them clanking together? Be real light though. They did that with pop bottle caps as well. Yeah, I remember those. The bottles underneath the caps, remember? You could like they'd have sweepstakes and prizes and things like that. I don't buy that stuff anymore, so I don't know if they still do it. I buy that stevia sugar pop that doesn't use the coloring, the soda coloring that all the other soda has. So I just and I don't drink those very often. I drink a lot of water, especially out here in the desert. It's so dry. Drink a lot of water. We go through a lot of water. Okay, what's this? Criminal activity report. Oh, let's see. What's this? Video links on YouTube. Wow, I just opened somebody's trunk and took stuff out of their car. So bad. There's actually some channels on YouTube where they have like ring cameras. There's this gal that does she compiles a bunch of ring cameras and puts them all into a video where people do like weird stuff, just weird crazy stuff. That'll actually take up some of your time watching that. I think I was watching some of that I don't know, like last week. This guy was checking door handles during the day of your car. Here, I'll share it with you guys. So you guys are like, what are you looking at, Susie? So this man was seen on camera. So let me see, where's the first picture? So this is the first picture. So I don't know if this was all on the same day, but you could see everything he's wearing, right? He's trying to be all incognito during the day. And then this is him again. You can see the same yellow beanie. He's walking around. When they carry backpacks through neighborhoods, they're stashing all their stolen items in those backpacks. That's why they carry backpacks. Probably a bottle of water too. I would think. But yeah, that's how they're storing all their stolen property. And they said this is the same man without the shirt. I don't know what he's doing with this can. But he's going through this can or stashing stuff, or I don't know what he's doing. And then right here, he's walking away. They show this car because apparently he opens the trunk of this car. He's trying the car, right? Oh, here's an unlocked car. Let's come over here and see what's going on here. And he's in the trunk of this car. Oh, you started cucumber water? That's good stuff too. It's so hot and so dry. It is. So here he is. Someone left their car unlocked. Of course, he's gonna during the day. Oh my God. So yeah, that's him walking down the neighborhood. I don't know if I don't think these are all different neighbors. Probably it's the same guy. So he was reported. He was reported. This is all the information. Subject was observed checking door handles of parked vehicles. He entered a white SUV and removed personal items. Subject was last seen headed north toward a known camp at the end of the alley. A camp is where they're living. You know, they're living there. Usually a tent or something, a grocery cart, blankets. Usually a dog or. Usually they got a pet also. Subject was last seen headed north towards a known camp at the end of the alley near the canal. Follow-up observation approximately at 5:30 p.m. Updated appearance. Wearing dark gray jeans over black and blue pants. White short sleeve shirt. Towel draped over shoulders. Later added a gray sweatshirt. I don't know who's wearing a sweatshirt in 106 degrees. Why they're wearing that? Maybe for disguise. I don't know. They wore a white face mask carrying 2 black dogs. Subject behavior. Subject returned to the courtyard of the apartment after using the nearby water spigot to shower in. Sorted through his belongings and eventually exited the courtyard into the alley. Donned on a mustard yellow beanie. And was observed loitering and walking around additional vehicles. A resident startled the subject, prompting him to flee southbound to a neighbor's apartment to talk about Jesus, then removed his gray sweatshirt and left the area just before Phoenix police arrived. See what I mean? How long it takes for the cops? Because he was in the alley, he was going through trash, then he went through a car, took belongings, personal belongings, then went over and took a shower. Then went loitering, and then when the police came, he was already gone. So see what I mean? Which I kind of get, because if they get taken into custody, they're just released and they're just back out doing it again. So they really don't have a solution for people that do this type of crime. They don't really have a solution here that I have seen. So this is just a description. Last seen headed southbound along the Black Canyon Highway, most likely using the alleys to avoid police. Was also spotted with a black female, large afro, wearing a pink shirt. Seen fleeing along the canal eastbound from the same area. So yeah, that's a very thorough description and very, very good. Timestamps and everything, description of the subject, and even an update. That's very, 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 very descriptive. So yeah, that was, this happens often around here. and it happens a lot, especially at night, 2, 3 in the morning. You get the younger crowd that come through the neighborhoods, checking all the car handles. And this guy's doing it during the day. He just doesn't care. He's just takes whatever he thinks belongs to him, and not a care in the world. And that's what's going on here. So that was the latest one I've seen. I've actually seen a couple people. I think it was 2 weeks ago that they actually set off our chime, our sensor for our. I don't know if it was our door or our front camera. And I immediately looked in the camera, and I saw two people with backpacks, and I'm like, oh hell no! So I ran out the front door, ran out into the front yard, and by that time they were already next house over, walking down the street. And I watched them all walk all the way down, stood in the front yard and watched them. And it looks like one of them may have been. No, that was the time after that. They just ended up. They just kept walking. But there was a second one that came later in the week or the next week. I don't know. This was a while back. But he was doing. He was painting curbs with your address. So they come around. They ask for like $20, and they have stencils, and they'll spray paint your address on your curb. And I ended up just doing our own because I'm an artist, of course. So that way they could see that we do our own, so they don't come to our door. But I saw a guy recently that was doing that, and I was watching him also because he had a big old backpack. So when they got big backpacks, I keep an eye on these people because they're usually going to take something off the porches, or like this guy was. He was doing honest work, and he was just trying to earn a living by providing a service, which is fine. But still, you got to keep your eyes on all these people that carry backpacks walking through neighborhoods. That's a sure sign that they're out stealing. To hide tattoos. That's right, CP. That's probably why he's putting long sleeves on too. Cucumber water sounds so yummy and delicious. I've never had it before, but I love cucumbers. I bet I will love it. Yes. This is my first time, Keith. It was good, so I make it once a week. That's awesome, CP. I'm going to try it sometime soon. Could be homeless. Yeah. We actually allowed one person to do our address one year. I thought it was cool. It was neat. It was cheap, and he was fast at it. He did it in under 10 minutes, and he did a good job. And so the next time somebody came around, I just was like, I'm going to do it myself. I made my own stencils and did a desert scene with cactus and the address. And it was really bright and colorful. He was just doing white with the address on it, the numbers. Make a tiny amount in case you don't like it with the cucumber water from CP. I sure will, says Keith. Yeah. So that's actually another easy money thing to do. If you if you guys do that in your neighborhood, go get yourself 2 colors of spray paint, one white, one black, and you can get stencils. You can make I made my own with cardboard. I just looked at some numbers on the internet, and you could even print out numbers and make figure out the size that you need for the numbers you need, and then just get that, and then tape it to a piece of cardboard, and then cut it with an X-Acto knife and make your stencil. Just follow it, follow the line, cut along the line of the number, and go ask 3 or 4 of your neighbors if they want their address spray painted on their curb or the sidewalk. And that's an easy $20 right there. You do 4 a day. That's $100. And it's not hard. You just you make your stencil of a rectangle first, and you spray that white. Let that dry. It'll dry within minutes, especially if it's breezy. And then get make your numbers. You make sure you have your numbers, your 1 through, 1 through 9, 0 through 9, and that's all you need. Put it in a bag, backpack, whatever, and or a little cart, little wagon, and go through your neighborhood and see if anybody wants their address painted on the curb. It's easy money, really easy money. That's what that guy was charging. This was 4 years ago. He was charging $20. At least 4 years ago. It's a good way to earn a quick $20. And shoot, $20 is a loaf of bread, is a maybe some eggs, some lunch meat, coffee, a soda pop, whatever. It can go towards paying a bill, buying whatever you need. Food, groceries, dinner, whatever. Let me see. No, I don't see anything else. So many people finding animals. Uh-oh. The news station is reporting Kroger contract termination puts 130 Tolleson jobs at risk from the Fry's food and drug stores. Yeah, I don't see anything else going on. Home tree service. Ooh. Bakery. Some cookies. Oh my God. Every time I see cookies like that, I want to go make some. It's good to have a number outside somewhere so the emergency service can find where it needed to go, right? And your delivery drivers. Yeah. I don't know. Mostly all places allow your address on the sidewalk. It's really easy. It's easy money. You'll get back what you put into it real fast. Actually need to retouch up ours. It's too dang hot to do that right now. I gotta wait till it cools down, way, way down. I think I'm gonna hand paint ours in next time with acrylic. He actually did do a clear coat over that, over the address with the clear coat sealer. And it'll last a year, and then the next year you'll have to do it again. But it'll last all year. Because, especially out here, the sun beats down on things and it just really breaks down materials like fabric and paint and stuff like that. It really breaks it down. The intensity of the heat, the sunlight. Gunshots. Surprised these guys aren't used to gunshots by now. Yeah, that's about it. What's going on in the news? So yeah, we're already at 2 hours. Um, I didn't put the link in the chat. I don't know if anybody wants to come up and say anything for a while. I'll do that for a little bit. If nobody comes up, I'll just end the live. I should have done that earlier, but I didn't. Wasn't thinking about it. I got so hung up with talking Aztec culture that I was forgot. But here's the link if anybody wants to come up, pop in the chat, say hello, or talk about anything. That book should be here. That codex should be here within like a week. I think with probably next week. I think by Thursday, it said Wednesday or Thursday should be here. I can't wait to open up that book and look at it and look at some of the stuff that's in there. But that's just kind of what I've been doing lately is studying the Aztec culture. If anybody is interested in any kind of research study, there's like in the Google search, if you type in Google Scholar, you'll get a lot of different research studies on whatever subject you're researching. That's usually revised by professionals, usually people at universities or professors that can give you, some good information on their take on the information, and it's a good way to kind of cross-reference some stuff that you're researching. So you probably want to go through like 3 different sources to see how they match up with each other. But if you're researching anything, check out Google Scholar. And a lot of this is like data facts, like facts based on data. And usually, revised by usually people that are in that field of study, and not just someone that's, just new and out in the field and just spreading a bunch of stuff about what they feel about it, what they think, what they want you to believe. It's fact-based data. So check out that Google Scholar. You'd be quite surprised with how much stuff is in there. I actually just started using it. I heard about it while I was away this past weekend, and I was talking to an actual teacher that teaches in England, and she was telling me about it. So it's quite interesting to see a new avenue of research that I had never even heard of. I was like, she goes, I don't know why they're not teaching more people about this. But she actually, we were talking about the Phantom House that I had seen there on that property in that village. And when my husband and I went out to go and see if I wanted to spend a summer there, and we did a walkthrough, and there was a house in the very back that we both saw, and I told him, let's not infringe on their privacy, and let's turn around and go explore a different part of the park, because I believe someone lived there, which at the time I thought was possibly the owner. And it was just a small little single wide manufactured home, really short, not even a full length one. It was a short, just a little house, white house with a porch. And so we walked away from it, and I ended up taking my fifth wheel there to stay for the summer. And I brought it up one day to the hosts that managed the campsite, and I told them about the little house I saw, and they said, "What house? There's no house back there." And I'm like, "Yeah, there is. There is a house." They said there's never been a house back there. And one day when we brought it up again, and they said, "Show me where you saw the house." I went back there, and the house was gone, but there was actually some kind of fire going on back there. I think someone threw some ashes from the one of the previous nights where we had a fire in the pit, and the ashes caught a tree on fire, and it started really big. But if we didn't go back there to look for the house that I call Phantom House now, because they said there was never a house there, we wouldn't have seen that fire. So it was kind of good that I brought it up, and I was like, there is a house back there. I saw it. My hubby saw it. So, anyways, that place, I was telling her, the teacher, about that, and she was telling me that when she was growing up over in England, things would disappear in her room, and she knew she they grew up with the Fae, right? They live on ancient land. I think we all live on ancient land, and there's stories everywhere. But she said that some of her personal belongings would go missing, and then she would have to like give a treat, or she said honey and milk is what they gave their Fae or their whatever it was that they believed was taking their items. And once the offering was given, their items would reappear in a place that they had they had searched before. Just so obvious that there's no way that all of a sudden it disappears and then reappears, right, in the simplest place where they know they've looked dozens of times. So we were talking about that. She loved the Phantom House story, and I loved her little Faye story, and it was kind of interesting. But she was actually telling me about the cross-referencing and researching through Google Scholar, and you just type it in there, and you'll see it's a whole different Google search engine, and it's based on professor information sent into like professors and stuff that's like written and then sent in and then verified. So it's like verified information, a lot of it. I mean, how far you want to go into verifying information. I don't know how far you would go to believe if the information was factual or whatever. But it's a good source. It's another good outlet to use for researching that I never heard before. I think it's cool. Good thing I went to check. Yeah, have you heard of the electroluminescent paint? Like the UV paint, the stuff that I use when I do my scorpions. When I do my scorpion hunts at night, that paint. Have you seen me paint my face? Electroluminescent paint. You'll have to break that down a little further, because I know there's UV paint, but I'd never heard of. Okay, CP. Thanks for popping in. It's good to see you again, and have a wonderful rest of your day, and have a great weekend. No, I don't think I've ever heard of electroluminescent paint. So yeah, that was really neat. So hopefully by the time I get there, I'm going after summer back to the village. Hopefully the fire ban will be lifted and we'll be able to sit around the fire again. Because that's like the best, especially when it cools down. It's a lot cooler. It's not fun in the summer. It's too hot to sit around a fire. But when it's cold and you could snuggle in a nice long sleeve and shorts and high socks and a hoodie, I think it's perfect. It is perfect. Keith says, bye to CP. Rashid says, according to one of my great uncles, there's 2 Native Americans buried on top of the mountain behind where I live now, and one buried under an oak tree at one of the family cemeteries down the road. Wow. Do you know? Do you have any more info on that? Like what tribe, or probably one of the tribes in your area then, huh? There's more of the story? That's interesting. I like that. From where you live. Yeah, because that would be Does that make it an ancient burial ground? I mean, does that change everything about the history of of that piece of land? Because I know out here, if you come across those, you're not supposed to go near them. Definitely, you're supposed to report them, and it's only because in fear of them being what is that? Like grave robbers, things like that. That's all he said. Yeah. Oh, there's so much more to that story, Rashid. There's like so much more to that story. Oh my God. Oh. Yeah, just leave us all hanging, huh, Rashid? Yeah, that was so I was looking into what was it called? Pumapunku out here. I think it's called Pumapunku. Is that what it's called? It's in New Mexico. I don't know if it's called Pumapunku, but it's a dwelling place where they actually found some bones in a burial below a dwelling. With they said there was so much turquoise found in this chamber. There was more turquoise than combined in that chamber from all the turquoise found in the area, and it was a lot of turquoise. That just kind of reminded me of that. That's why I say grave robbers, because people go and usually the American Indians that were buried, they were buried with charms, or not charms, but like stones and gifts and things. So you want to preserve that, and you want to protect it to make sure that people that know history, that are like grave robbers, that are thieves, they'll go and try to dig that thing up or dig that site up and steal from it, rob it. So you got to be careful. Just be careful. That's probably why he probably didn't say probably too much. He's protecting the grave, and which is the right thing to do, but to keep it preserved. It's usually how they get buried, especially if it was old, really old and ancient, burial site. So what are you gonna do with the rest of your day, Rashid? You gonna do anything? Anything exciting? Anybody doing anything exciting? I'm gonna probably cook the rest of that meat for dinner. Oh, my hubby, I think he's bringing home some Chick-fil-A. I love Chick-fil-A. They make a really nice chicken sandwich. I believe they make a fish sandwich also. So I had my hubby buy some fish patties. They're breaded fish patties just to make my own sandwiches. But they were like tiny. They're little squares, but they're like this big. And a fish patty, I'm used to it being like, at least this big. But it was so freaking tiny. I had to like squeeze two little patties on the sandwich, and it just wasn't right. It's just all lopsided, and you just But yeah, Chick-fil-A, they make a darn good chicken sandwich and a good fish sandwich. So I'll probably I don't know if I'm gonna make this. Maybe I'll wait for him to get home. That'll be probably a little bit later. Uh, that's gonna be good though. That meat's still marinating. It's all sliced now in nice strips. I could probably cook the meat and then incorporate some. I don't know. Probably tomorrow I might make it. Incorporate some sliced bell peppers with onions and make kind of like a fajita. But we don't have. I might have to make tortillas. I don't know. I could do a fried tortilla, like a fry bread, and then put that in there. That sounds good. It's not a thing that I know of. It's way too hot outside to do much. right? What's the temperature over at your place, Rochelle? It's well, it's shoot, it's getting hotter. It's 107 now. Unbelievable. Oh, I gotta go wet the seeds down too, so that's another thing I gotta do before anything else after the show. So yeah, if nobody has any stories they want to share, we haven't. I haven't had any like dreams, like crazy wild dreams that I've had lately that I want to share. I really haven't had anything. I mean, the last one I shared was that big old like a flood or a debris coming through, and the pig wearing armor and the rusted old truck that was way oversized with the a man driving, the pig following it. That was my last weird dream that I had. That I remembered a lot of detail in it, but these ones lately they've been kind of faded, like really faded. 94 a little bit ago. That's pretty warm for you, huh, Rochelle? I know some people over like across the ocean, like over UK area, shoot like the 94 would be really hot to them. Even in the high 80s would be really hot to them. And like over here, that's almost like a perfect summer at the 80s, 90s. Anything over 95 is very uncomfortable. 85 over 85. If it's 85, it's like perfect weather. Just it's perfect. It's a perfect warmth and not too uncomfortable. I think it's interesting, like other countries where they're used to cold and wet, right? And when they get a little taste of high 80s and 90s, they're not liking it at all, especially because the AC, the whole AC thing over there, they don't really utilize AC like we do here. They rely on open windows and probably I don't remember even seeing fans. I don't know if they even have like ceiling fans like we do here. Yeah, 94, that's okay. It's still hot. It's still too hot to do anything in comfortably. I was spreading that soil yesterday in like 106, and when I came in, I didn't feel all everywhere where I was behind my neck, uh, under my shirt and my back, and then your legs. All that was all wet. I was like, oh my God. I needed to get that done because I wanted to spread all that. I got to go water those seeds too. You love the heat. You can't stand the cold. Well, how cold does it get where you're at, Keith? Does it get like below zero, or is it that cold, or? Because you could always layer. That's why I like the cold, because I like to layer uh, the fluffy clothes. Even just my fluffy hoodie that I wore with the ears, that kept my head real warm. A nice like fluffy soft sweater. Just it has to be really cold for me to put pants on, but I can still like handle 60 degrees with shorts on. But anything like in the 50s down into the 40s, I got to put pants on. It's just too cold. Uh, I'll even try to get away with it in the cooler weather with long socks up to my knees, and if I'm out in nature, like my hiking shoes or whatever. But I usually have a pair of long socks just to keep my calves warm up to my knees, and that's usually good enough. Um, but in 40 degrees, no, I'm putting pants on. A real thin layer, a thin pair of pants. But if it gets like in the 30s and 20s, no, 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 no. I'm putting a thick, really thick pair of like joggers, jogging pants, sweatpants, a thick pair. I got like a couple of really thick pair of those. That's for like 30 degrees though, 30 and 20s. or it's just like, screw that. You don't even want to go outside. You keep your ceiling fans going? Yeah. I have a little fan running here. That's right. That's mainly for to keep my computer cool. Keep it cooled. The coldest it gets here is about 28 degrees. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty cold. That's miserable cold. And you probably get snow too? Do you get snow where you're at? Where are you at anyways? I don't even know where you're at. I don't think you've ever said where you're at. You know, I'm in Arizona, so we don't ever see snow here, not here in the city. I've seen snow out in Kingman when I lived out there, which was kind of cool. When we moved out there, we got our first snow, and I was like, "Wow, it was so cool." But it's not the same as snow in nature, because snow in nature is much more beautiful than it is in a city, especially if there's a lot of trees. If there's trees like in Idaho, there was a lot of pine trees and old oaks, and the snow on that on the branches, and then when everything gets wet, you get a contrast of dark tree bark, and then the light, the snow dusted on all the branches. It's just beautiful. That's what I like, especially up in the mountains too. All the snow on the pines with the dark tree bark from the wet, this moisture, and it makes beautiful photos. It got down into the single digits here during the winter a few times. Ooh, yeah, that's too cold. You don't want to even go outside. Oh, you're in Arkansas. I'm not familiar with that state. I don't think I know anybody else that lives in Arkansas. I'd have to really think. There might be one person, but I don't think so. I don't remember. I don't hear anybody ever talk about Arkansas. We get close to zero on winter nights. Oh, that's horrible, huh, brother? Oh my God, that's where you, you just you don't even a scarf. I'm talking earmuffs, mittens, uh, two pairs of pants, a pair of sweats underneath pants, two sweaters. Like I'm wearing that Under Armour stuff. But I don't think it's ever been that cold. When I was working security at the canyon, I wore that Under Armour, the Under Armour pants that held in your body heat, and the long sleeve top underneath a sweater with a hoodie over that. And that was the pants was underneath my work pants and boots. I usually we had to wear the tactical boots. So plus I had thick socks on in the boots, and then the Under Armour pants and the sweater, the long sleeve, which is really tight hugging to the body. Then you put your clothes over that. And still it was kind of a little still cold, but not bad. It was doable. It was slightly comfortable, but still you'd have to move around to keep your body heat up. You have to, it got cold at the canyon at night, especially during the winter. It got cold. It's not fun. But it was fun in a way, because the company that you were around. If you're around fun people, you forget about the cold. But by yourself, where you just all you're thinking about is the cold, it's not fun. Can't even work in that stuff. Okay, well, it looks like we made it to 3 hours, guys. Hopefully everybody has a wonderful week. Thank you, John P. Brother, and Keith, and Rochette, and Ben T that popped in, and CP that popped in. Appreciate you, and also CB that popped in. It's good to see you guys. And I keep saying this. I'm going to do an art show pretty soon. I want to do a clay project, but I don't have I don't have like I need like a project. I need like something. I want to make another uh incense house kind of thing, but I don't know what to do. I have a few ideas, but I don't really know yet. So I'm trying to still put an idea together for that and a painting. I don't know what the heck I'm gonna paint. If it's gonna be an abstract or an actual picture of something, I don't know. So I still can't really get some ideas together. Close to zero? Oh my god, I didn't know it got that cold there, brother. Oh my gosh. And you do get snow in Arkansas, huh? I'll have to look up Arkansas over there and look at some photos and see. I don't even know what it looks like over there. But yeah, I appreciate everybody for coming. We're in 3 hours, and push that like button. I'd appreciate it if you come back later. If you made it to the end of the show, thank you, and push that like button, and we will see you guys soon. I don't know if I'll if I go game. I don't know if I'll do another live. If you want to go hang out with me over on Twitch, I'm under Silverleaf77 with two S's. I'll probably be playing Hitman over there for a little bit, maybe later. If you're bored and you want to go and I don't know, watch me play that silly Hitman game, I'll be probably over there later. But maybe a doghouse. What? But I appreciate everybody for hanging out, and we'll see you guys later. Have a great weekend. Have a wonderful rest of your evening or afternoon or morning, and we'll see you guys soon. Love you all. Ah.